They appear also out of nowhere, scaring the drivers and causing them to veer into oncoming traffic.
Oh, jeez.
This actually has been reported to be the cause of many unexplained accidents along certain parts of this highway. Now, this haunted and evil highway, it's even captured the attention of many news media, ranging from USA Today, the Wall Street Journal, and even has been displayed as a cartoon segment in the New Yorkers.
Oh, wow.
Even better, this highway has been in a movie entitled Route 666, and one of my all-time favorites, appeared in Supernatural in an episode during season 1.
Fabulous.
Now, unfortunately, Route 666, even after being renamed, will forever be in the minds of the people that have directly been affected by its ghostly and sometimes menacing ways.
Wow, that is something. I think we have the Brenda in chat. She was telling us about, she picked up a ghost passing the Civil War cemetery in Cassville, Georgia.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I mean, I believe it, but wow.
Yeah.
And she said that it made the hair on the back of her neck stood up when she glanced in the rearview mirror.
Yep.
Was it in your, it was in your car, Brenda? Holy smokes.
Now, I can say that I've never had this actually happen to me.
You never had a rider?
I've never had a rider, and I think I kind of prefer it that way. I don't want to wreck.
Yeah, she said, whoever it was, they just wanted to take a short ride.
I needed to get somewhere quick.
Right. Okay, moving up north, we find ourselves on Seven Gables Road in Michigan. Back to Michigan, you know, they get a lot of hauntings up there.
I've noticed that as well.
Especially around the Chicago area. This road is in Dansville, Michigan, and it's less than a mile long, but it is considered to be the most haunted road in Michigan. There are rumors, like there's always rumors, Shania.
Always.
But this road at one time had a house that resided at its end. And this house was inhabited by a family of 6, which were all said to have died at the hands of a murderer. Each one of the family members were hung.
Wow.
Now, legend goes on that after the murderer hung the family, the murderer took their own life after setting fire to the house. There are additional rumors of murders and suicides taking place along this road path as well. So in less than a mile long, we've got lots of killings for some reason.
Doesn't sound like a very nice road to travel.
No. Throughout the years, some people have ventured down this road and reported terrifying happenings ranging from the general feeling of uneasiness to sightings of blood-covered women in white gowns. The ladies in white are blood-covered now.
They are so popular.
Now, one theory behind this road is that the land was once cursed by a witch. I mean, we got to get it from somewhere, right?
Right.
Then, when the family of 6 moved in, the father began acting strange as if he were possessed. His insanity grew, and it eventually led him to kill his entire family, to which he then set the house on fire, and then he hung himself. So one version was it was a murderer,
yep,
and another version was it was the father of the family. Now, the land is said to still be haunted by this curse. And if you dare enter the land and you should hear a scream, it is said that you better leave right away or death will seek you out.
If that's the case, I will run.
And it is reported from some that investigated the land that they have seen faces and some of them have heard a little girl in the trees. Others have claimed to have heard faint screams, seen a child standing off in the shadows, hearing heavy breathing, smelling burning flesh.
Oh,
I don't know about you.
unpleasant.
I do not know what burning flesh smells like, but I'm sure it can't be good.
No, very unpleasant, I'm sure.
And one individual even claimed to have been choked by an invisible hand.
Damn.
Somebody actually got choked. So, my advice, folks, do not travel this road alone if you travel it at all.
Well, traveling back to our own state brings us to Dead Man's Curve in Claremont County, Ohio.
There's lots of dead man's curves.
I've heard of several. As
Yeah.
well. Now, this stretch of road first opened in 1831 and was nicknamed Dead Man's Curve because it turned so sharply that carriages would often go over the edge.
Huh.
Even though the road was widened and the curve smoothed out in the late 1960s, its name only grew more notorious.
So people still.
Traveled it way too fast.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, in 1969, a horrific crash between a Chevy Impala and a Plymouth Roadrunner.
My parents had a Roadrunner back in them days. I was just a tiny little kid.
My dad had a Chevy Impala.
That's funny.
But this horrible, horrible wreck killed 5 teenagers. Now, since then, locals claim to have seen the apparitions of the 2 vehicles speeding through the area. Phantom carriages have also been reported by many.
Oh.
However, the most well-known specter known by locals is the faceless hitchhiker. Dressed in all black, he appears in full detail to the onlooker except for his face.
Wow.
Now, where his face should be, there is, well, literally nothing.
Nothing.
There is no features at all. It is just blank. Now, I don't know about you, but that would scare the daylights out of me.
That would be like, when you want to get a stick and poke at it.
You want to figure out what's going on.
What is that?
Well, he only usually sticks his thumb out for a ride, but sometimes, oh goodness, sometimes he throws himself in front of the cars, and then this gives me the creeps reading it. And then he tries to climb aboard when the vehicle stops.
Oh.
That would be horrific. Horrific.
Oh my.
And I know I must admit that this is not a figure that I would ever want to encounter.
Well, I think if a ghost climbed on top of the car.
After throwing itself with having no face.
It would be a little startling, that is for sure.
Absolutely.
Wow. I'll tell you what, our next haunted road trip continues on to Timberlake Road in Minnesota. This road during the day appears to be just like any other road frequently traveled, However, at night, like many other roads, it gives off a totally different kind of vibe. Timberlake Road runs along the thick forests and wetlands of Sibley State Park that carries several ghostly stories that the locals warn travelers about. Now, strange things being seen on the sides of this road at night have been reported for years, like seeing red eyes blinking at travelers as they drive by. Of course, that's a lot. People seem to see these red blinking eyes, and when you're driving past, how can you tell them are red blinking eyes is what I'm wanting to know. They also see shadows darker than the darkness itself lurking in and around the trees. That's also been reported. The legends go on to say that a woman who had lived in a house near this road, she came home one day to find all of her children murdered.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, beyond devastated from the grisly sight, she hung herself. Which it would be.
That would be horrible.
Horrific to come home and find that. Her ghost has said to be seen wandering the road ever since in search of her children's murderer. There is also a gated cemetery along this road where the woman and her children are said to be buried. Visitors have sighted ghostly children playing around the graves, sounds of dogs growling, and a woman wailing, along with random screams, have also been reported.
Well, next, we are heading out west to Seven Sisters Road in Nebraska.
Nebraska? I went to a ghost town out there.
Ooh, now that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, this road, located an hour south of Omaha, has a local lore that dates back to almost 100 years.
Wow.
A brother and his 7 sisters were living in the hills outside of the city, and for some unknown reason, one night the brother came home beyond mad. Some say poisonous thoughts were swirling through his mind from the anger, and it continued to grow within him.
Wow, I wonder what made him so darn angry.
Yeah, I would like to know that as well. Now, this anger only worsened as the night went on until it absolutely overtook him, dragging out one sister at a time to a separate hilltop and hanging them one by one until they were all dead.
Oh.
Now, no one knows what happened to the brother after he did this, but locals warn unsuspecting visitors that strange things happen on the road that curves through those 7 forlorn hills, most specifically at night.
Of course, at night.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Well, many travelers who dared to drive through report that their cars were suddenly drained of power, engines were stalling, and headlights were dimming as if in warning to get away. They warn that these hills truly are not the place to be at night, but if you still insist on visiting, it is said that if you park your car out on the road for long enough, you may just hear the wailing screams of each one of the poor sisters coming from the top of each one of the 7 hills.
Oh, spooky, right?
A little bit.
What are the chances? 7 sisters murdered on 7 hills in the area.
That is true.
Right? Okay. We're going to travel on, and we're going to find ourselves on Cuba Road in Illinois. If you come across the White Cemetery about an hour north of Chicago, it is advised that you just keep on driving and don't stop for anything or anyone. The spirits there have been known to wander outside the gates since the 1820s. Police and other witnesses have reported seeing all different sorts of vanishing objects, ranging from people, floating, phantom black cars, and even a house that was supposed to have been burned down under mysterious circumstances many years ago. Locals say that if you see the house, that whatever you do, do not go in it, because when it decides to disappear again, you will disappear with it and be gone forever.
Now that's a scary thought.
Absolutely. There have been sightings of a woman with a lantern, seemingly looking for a ride, but then she quickly vanishes behind sunken headstones. Her hazy figures have been seen lingering beside cemetery trees and near its perimeter. And with that, folks, we will be back with more Ghost Talk. You're listening to Ghost Talk Radio on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.